Hello again, and welcome to another mysterious recipe with me and her. So today we are here for our July coffee of the month, which is going to be wheat related based on the prompts that we have from Coffees of the Month from Mystery of the Seven Keys. And we were thinking, what is one of the most comforting wheat flavored things that you can have?
Bread
and
jam.
Yes,
Bread and jam.
instead of tea with jam and bread, we're gonna have coffee with jam and bread today. So first of all, we're gonna start off with a nice raspberry sauce to kind of give us that jammy note. We're gonna get that going. You can use either fresh or frozen raspberries for this. Where we live, the stores that we have, it is hard to find properly ripe raspberries fresh, so we're using frozen. We're going to take 1 cup of those frozen raspberries and put them in a small pot on the stove. We are also going to add half a cup of brown sugar to it.
Oh, raspberries smell so good. Like the sour scent always makes my mouth water.
I love raspberries. They're one of my favorite fruits. So I looked wrong when we made the sauce. Our sauce is going to be a little sweeter than usual. I thought I grabbed the 1/4 cup. This is actually a 1/3 cup. Shh, don't tell Sharon. We're also going to add a 1/3 of a cup of water to that.
Add some vanilla.
We also want to add half a teaspoon of vanilla to our pot. Okay, so that is it as far as ingredients for our raspberry sauce. We're going to cook this over about medium heat for 15 minutes. Let it come to a nice simmer and cook for a bit to get all that really good flavor out of the raspberries and help them start breaking down for a nice sauce.
So we're gonna make the cold foam now, which we're gonna do. In this little jar, we're gonna put half a cup of cream, heavy cream. A 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. No. I'm not that kind of person. A 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla.
A little more than a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla.
No, we'll just pour that back in there. And then a splash of milk.
And the milk is really just there to keep it more of a softer set. So now you could beat it with a mixer, but we're gonna minimize the amount of things that we're using today and just shake this jar until it gets nice and foamy.
This is my workout for the day. This is how you burn your coffee calories. Right, Emily?
That you haven't had yet.
I had a coffee this morning, and while you shake your cream, do a tree pose. Let's see if I can. There we go. Isn't this the tree pose? Do you hold your hands above your head for the tree pose?
I don't know.
Or do you do like this? I don't know. I don't do yoga.
It doesn't have to be a full whipped cream set. We just want to get it nice and foamy. How's it feeling? Get it fluffed up a little?
Not fluffed. We shake it for another 6 minutes. When you shake your own cream, it takes a long time.
Alright. While the cream is being foamed and our sauce is being sauced, let's talk about how we're going to make this taste more like a wheat note. So first of all, we made some cold brew last night, and I'll include that footage. We took
Right here.
half a cup of ground coffee. We want this to be nice and strong so it doesn't taste watered down when it's all put together. 2 tablespoons of wheat germ. That's where we're going to be getting some of our wheat note from. That's looking foamy.
I think it's done.
And then the container that I have, it holds about 3 1/4 cups of water on top of that. So 3 1/4 cups of water. And then if you have just a jar and not a cold brew container, you can just strain it with a small handheld mesh strainer in the morning when you're ready. Now we did that, and maybe it's because we just can't taste this morning, we just brushed our teeth, but the coffee is not tasting super wheat flavored, so we're also going to make a wheat note infusion, very concentrated, to give us a little bit more of that note when it's done. And we're going to take 2 tablespoons of wheat germ, put that in a small pan on the stove over about medium, get it toasted up until it gets a little more golden and you can really smell the wheat.
Smell the wheat. That's what they say. Take time to smell the wheat.
And then go ahead and add about a 1/2 cup of water to that once your wheat germ is nice and toasted, and simmer that for about 4 minutes to create a wheat note infusion. You're basically creating like a really strong wheat tea at this point. We want it really concentrated flavored, so we're not having to add a lot of water to our coffee and watering down the flavor in that regard. And once that's done, just set it to the side until we're ready to assemble. So we're basically done except for the assembly at this point. You will need one other ingredient before it's all done. You'll need a little more milk, and you'll also want a little bit of butter just to keep adding. We're gonna keep working in those nice fresh baked bread notes. So we're not gonna use much, but we have a good butter right here, and we're gonna put a little of that when it's ready to go together. Oh, and some ice, which is optional. She prefers her coffees hot. I prefer my coffees iced.
Now,
usually,
I'm gonna put in my 2 cents. I think this coffee would be better hot, like with an espresso shot. But we're doing it cool today. But I would suggest trying it both ways and seeing what y'all like.
Yeah, you can absolutely make this coffee hot. Just instead of making a cold brew the night before, add the wheat germ and the coffee grounds to your coffee maker and go ahead and brew those together to get your hot coffee, and continue making it the exact same way, just leave out the ice.
And steam your milk.
Yes.
Okay, peeps, let's get this thing done.
So, we've got our raspberry sauce. Right now it is still hot. If you make this in advance, you might want to melt the butter. Right now the sauce is still hot enough to melt our butter. We're gonna put about 1/2 tablespoon in each cup. Also putting 1/4 cup of our raspberry sauce in each jar. This is how our wheat germ infusion looks now that it is out of the pot into a little pitcher. We're gonna put some of that in our sauce butter mixture at the bottom. Let's go ahead and do a full 2 tablespoons because I'm afraid 1 won't be enough. Now this is gonna make it a bit thicker, but with the sauce being kind of thin, it's gonna balance out at the end. Give that all a little stir to incorporate and make sure that the melted butter is mixed in. We're gonna add some ice as well. We've got these really big ice cubes, same as you've seen us use before, but if you have smaller ice cubes, you'll probably want to put a good 3 or 4 ice cubes. We are using 2-cup capacity mason jars to kind of help with amounts on what we're doing. I'm not sure that we're gonna fit as much as I had started to write out in these particular jars, but
That's okay.
Make a note of amounts that we're using. I'm gonna put 1/3 cup of milk in each one. So we're running out of space in our jars. I was gonna do more coffee, but I think we're only gonna be able to do about 1/3 of a cup of coffee per.
Can I just pour some in here?
Let's do just a little bit more. Fill this like 1 more time and we'll split it between the 2. So about 1/2 a cup of coffee per. Looks like we'll have room. And then we've got our cold foam that we made earlier. We're gonna top this off with as much cold foam as we can fit, which is probably gonna be about a 1/4 cup or so of cold foam per cup.
Yeah, I made it a whipped cream.
That's okay. Whipped cream is hardly a problem. It'll just be less of a foam. Alright, for taste testing, we also have some nice bread that we're going to have with, depending on your preference, either some more of that butter or some of that raspberry sauce on top, or both. And that you can just get any nice quality bread from the store, toast it up nice and hot. This is actually homemade bread, so it's even better.
That is?
Yes.
You made me bread?
I didn't make it for this. I had some in the fridge from the last loaf I made. But look how cute these are before we start. You've got your little layers and then a cute little raspberry on top. So good.
All right, let's consume.
But of course you have to give it a bit of a stir to get all the flavors together.
Are you gonna
have a little bread with just butter first? Not before I try the coffee, just before I add some of the raspberry. But first try the coffee. Give it a very careful stir because these are full to the very top.
I think I just got raspberry.
is the first version I've done with an extra infusion with wheat germ and water added at the end with the raspberries. I'm definitely picking up more on the wheat with that than I have up to
a little
now.
bit. It's a back note. It's not
Yes.
the first thing you taste.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like you're drinking a piece of bread with coffee, but you can tell that there's wheat in there.
Which I'm not sure I want it to taste like I'm drinking bread.
Let's see how it pairs with some nice buttered bread.
Yummy.
And back to the coffee to see how it follows up the bread. Just make sure everything still pairs well together. That's a very good combo. Alright, I do want to try a little of the bread with some of the sauce. And again, it is rather a runny sauce. It's not like a proper preserve, so it'll be a little messy.
If you want a thicker sauce, just don't add the water. The raspberries will break down, and since they're frozen, they have extra liquid anyway.
Just start them off on a lower heat on the stove so you don't scorch until they start to release their liquid. Is it tasting like bread and jam reminiscent to you?
Yeah.
But you still would like it better hot. I saw that look you gave me.
I don't like cold brew.
Okay. Well, there's still some raspberry sauce left. You can always.
You want
put
me
it in
to
hot
make my
coffee.
third coffee?
Not right now. Just later on.
I was like, Debbie, I might pass out.
Next time you make a cup of coffee,
Make it.
make hot coffee, put that sauce in it, and tell me how it is.
Okay.
Or y'all will
Not
let
hot
us know.
coffee.
Espresso. There we go. Milk cream for your baby.
Clover.
So I'm trying to figure out if it's because I actually ate some food before we started filming for once, but is this more filling? Granted, you've had like 3 sips of yours. It seems like it's more filling than I usually
there's
want,
a
so
lot
I'm
of
wondering if that's because of the wheat.
Maybe.
Speaking of the wheat germ, if you haven't used it before and you're not sure what you're looking for, you're going to generally find it in like the cereal aisle down near the oatmeal or granola. This is what the one we used looks like. They pretty much always come in either a glass or a plastic jar, usually around this size and shape. The brands vary, but you're looking for a jar near the granola and oatmeal with a brown sort of powder looking such inside. Final thoughts?
Go for it.
I'm loving, first of all, the combo of having it with a nice piece of freshly toasted bread.
I love it with bread.
So good. This is a fantastic snack pairing. I'm actually getting quite full, so
Me too.
while this is very tasty, I'm enjoying it. I'm slowing down. I like fruit notes in coffee, but some fruit notes work better than others, and I think this is definitely one of the ones that works better with coffee. Sorry, I'm just in a happy food haze. She's looking at me waiting for more final thoughts, and I'm just sitting here thinking, oh, this is good.
Please comment below some ideas for next month, which is gonna be August.
Sorry, my mind is on raspberries and wheat right now. I don't remember what is August without looking.
Well, I don't have my phone.
Hold on, let me look. I can tell you in 1 minute. In August, he harvests the crops.
Okay, so literally that's the line. Okay, so we definitely need some inspiration for that because that could really be anything. What do we harvest in August? Because
August, at least here, is still usually a lot of summery crops. So like corn and tomatoes and green
okra.
things, okra, green beans, like all of the warm weather crops. We're not onto cool weather crops like the squashes and such.
do not even say the word squash and coffee near each other.
Squash coffee.
Squashy.
Squashy. I would like a nice squashy.
Would you like a squashy? Please give us some inspiration because
No, I don't think we're doing a squash coffee
Not
for
for-
September. But August we're definitely not.
tomato coffee doesn't sound very good to me.
And I want to live, and she will come over and strangle me in my sleep if I make something too terrible.
Are you done? Maybe we could do like a sweet corn syrup.
That could be interesting.
Just an idea, not corn syrup, but like fresh corn juice.
Sweet corn,
Yeah.
not moonshine.
I could put some moonshine in the coffee.
On that note, I think that's a good point to stop for today. I'm enjoying my delicious coffee, and I don't want my taste buds ruined for the day by imagining the squashies and moonshine coffee, and I want to live.
So please, 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 please help us figure out what in the world we're going to do.
And stick around for our other coffees of the month, as well as our other recipe videos that we're working on.
There. What in the world are we gonna do making coffee for Nancy Drew?
It's up to you as Nancy Brew.
Until next time, bye!
Bye, guys. Mystery time.
There's a mystery.
It's up to you as Nancy Brew.
I have no energy.
Your hair almost went in the candle, my dear. You were about to have a lot of energy.
Let's make some cold foam. Tea and jam, jam and tea. Jam and bread with tea. I don't remember how that goes. La da da, lo di da, lo di da di da di da. What? That's